So far, the crew has cleared every hurdle naysayers have placed in their way. Columbus would be home to one of the 10 inaugural teams. Columbus has outperformed much larger cities. The true success indicator has been from the fans. Well, it's boys night out.
Hello, Pod. This is going to be a little different for a few reasons. Number one, Memorial Day weekend. We were partying hard on Monday night, and so we didn't record. Today is Tuesday. We're recording very intelligently one day, even less than one day before our next match. So we're going to have to turn this around really quick. And so it's not going to be edited. So all these ums and uhs and all that, you're gonna get all of it. So
sorry,
let's jump in. Yeah.
Sorry.
Welcome to the club.
Okay.
I'm your host, Mars. This is the Upper 90 Club, a roundtable podcast where five friends really think hard about the Columbus crew.
Yeah.
And
What are we doing?
what
What are we doing? What are we doing tonight?
We figure it out. We're gonna
Why
figure
are we
it out
doing it?
tonight. We're gonna figure it out. On tonight's show, today's show, whenever you're listening to its show,
What is time?
we're gonna go through the Pittsburgh crash and burn. We're gonna go through the Nashville ups and downsies. We're sitting on 3 consecutive losses in 8 days. We're gonna get a review of the Cappies from Bird. And we're going to do a quick Colorado and Charlotte preview because, again, we have 2 games this week. So with me in the club, I have Ben Mort, Trey, and Haas. Say hi, guys.
I'm not excited.
Hi.
I'm so sad.
Yeah,
We told everybody to put
you.
themselves on mute too, to like get rid of the artifacts, and half the pod's muted right now. Say hi,
Yeah,
guys, and
so
like
they're
half
here.
the pod is like,
Oh, hi, guys.
yeah, there he is.
There we go.
Trey, you're
They're
out
here,
too.
they're here.
Can you find out where
Okay,
how to unmute? Trey doesn't know how to
He
unmute.
doesn't want to talk.
Oh
So
boy.
He doesn't want to talk.
He can't figure out how to unmute, or
You go down to
it's
Mike.
just- he's just ignoring us.
Oh man.
All right, you're going to cut this out.
I don't think
Let's jump in. No, you're not. Let's jump in and talk about Pittsburgh. The lineup was different, but that was to quote Matt Haas and Kevin McAllister from Home Alone when referencing Buzz's girlfriend, woof. It was man, I don't like the mute. You guys got to turn back on. I see you laughing silently.
Yeah, I say go ahead. You know what?
You feel lonely out there?
I do.
You feel like you're
Yeah,
living in a
I
vacuum?
do.
Yeah, because like I see Mort laughing. Wait, I think I'm having major technical difficulties. Oh boy. Okay. Let's just breeze over Pitt. Let's give our one. Yeah, I was just thinking like one word. I think wolf pretty much.
Okay, one word. Woof. We can now not focus on the U.S. Open Cup any longer. We don't have to play.
I was the only one pumped about it, but
I was excited because we were winning, but the performance was just so lackluster in Pittsburgh, and I guess we're just not among the 8 best teams in the
in
country.
the USL.
Right.
Dude, Pittsburgh
Including
sucked,
the
and we
USL.
were worse. Like that was such a bad game.
It was
There's
weird.
like no takeaways.
Well, the takeaway is you look at the lineup and you kind of know that we didn't take it seriously.
Right.
I mean, we should be good enough, but it's almost a signal to the people that are playing. It's like, yeah, they didn't really care that much about this game because we would have had a stronger lineup. That said, the lineup should have been good.
Yeah, I agree. Well,
Going
that's
that
just
way.
it. That's the only thing I'm kind of taking away from this is we got the USL and we have like the MLS next, and it's like I just kind of assumed at this point the MLS next league was just as good as the USL, and maybe it's not, or maybe there's just like some better players in the USL and some worse players. But I don't know.
Turf field.
No.
We didn't
I
want to.
think-
We didn't bring players that are our best players because we didn't
Sure.
want them to get injured. And
I just
we played
wonder-
crew 2 players.
Okay.
And here's the other thing too between those, like these guys have more experience. There's people that has been in the game for a long time playing for this team that has some skill, and they're hungrier because they're the underdog. So unless you bring in a good attitude and a decent team and a willingness to win, you're gonna lose.
Yeah.
Really cool stadium, though. I'd love to go to a game there.
Except for the actual field, but
Right, but trains going by, city view.
it was cool. Yeah, I mean, I think we had that for Detroit, right? When we played Detroit and lost last year.
Similar.
They had a
but
train.
Not quite as cool with
Yeah.
the open
I wonder
view
if
to the
that's
city.
like the USL thing. It's like you can join, but you have to have a train that goes by that has a hockey and it goes with toot toot, and everyone's like, "Yeah, totally stoked!" Because it's like, you guys want to go see a train and then a
All right.
soccer
Yeah.
game?
So we wrote a different story, but it had the same ending. We crashed out of the U.S. Open Cup, and I think that's fine. Maybe one question I have is, what's the downside of not winning the whole thing? Do you get like a champions seed, or like what do you get out of that brass?
You get money, and I think into the CCL.
CCL. Yep.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, so that avenue for CCL
It gone.
is
Goodbye.
closed. Let's talk about
Well,
the Nashville game. It didn't take long to get really excited about that game. Were there big changes in the lineups that we need to note? I don't really.
Big one is Matan,
Really.
and it happened
Yes,
right. I think on
yes.
Friday it happened. He's got some thigh issue.
And he's out tomorrow too.
Okay.
oh yes,
Mhm.
I missed him in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He's
So
questionable.
uh,
Official designation
okay.
for tomorrow.
So about 90 seconds into that game, I saw what you guys have been talking about. Cucho is drawing the defenders, right? He, Hawes, you can talk through that goal, but I noticed what you've been saying. It was very apparent, and it had a big impact on Ya's ability to have space to take his shot. So Hawes, talk through that goal real quick.
Yeah, so the whole play starts off with Yeboah knocking the ball away in our defensive half. And it goes to Aiden Morris. He passes it up to Cucho, advances the ball to the 18-yard box, and cuts it back to where Yeboah is making a great run into space. He finds Yeboah. He takes 2 touches and rips it with his left foot into the top corner of the opposite side of the net.
Like, holy
goal.
crap.
Beautiful.
That goal was
Oh
insane.
my lord,
Banger.
the net was barely holding,
Yeah.
Like left footed.
and I was yelling so
Yeah.
loud. Yeah, and we know. Hey, here's the thing: we know he has a good left foot. We've seen a lot of his crosses, but I never seen him really rip one.
He's just a different player. I
And
don't
he
understand.
did.
I don't understand it.
We had guests in the house. We had it on, put it on the projector. A guest in the house from out of town, and I think I scared the wife.
What'd you
I
do?
was Like,
Oh, the game.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
I think I scared
Sure
some
enough.
neighbors that were walking by as that happened. So with the windows open.
so let's enjoy this moment. Just
Well,
for-
we
What a
enjoyed it
great
for a
goal.
while. I mean, a good chunk of the game
Yeah.
up 1-0.
Yeah. So then what happened? I mean, I think we could talk about like technically, tactically what occurred in the game. How did you feel about just the general play? Were we able, I mean, I don't know that we were able to really play our ball. But I'm interested to kind of hear you all talk about it. I've heard some commentary during the game and the text thread, but who wants to lead us off on this journey?
I don't think we've been quote unquote playing our game for kind of a while. Like I don't think, just based on personnel and what's going on, I don't think like we have been doing what we started out the season doing. Like Moreira's not up the field. You don't see Morris up the field. Like that, both those ships have sailed, and that was like unbelievably important the first 5 or 6 games, and like that doesn't happen anymore. And we should get into like what kind of like why that's happening. I think ultimately Nashville's really good, and I just think they just beat us. I mean, I never thought we really had a handle on the game like at all.
No, we didn't have that, and we were down in possession. We're the
Yes.
highest possessing team in the league, and we were beat pretty handedly, I think, in that first half. I think it evened out a little bit in the second half. In the first half, we only had 40% possession or something like that.
Yeah. Well, and especially in the final third, we didn't have any looks. I saw a stat at one point at Mort, to borrow a phrase from you. It was somewhere between 1/2 and 2/3 through the first half that they threw up to the screen. It was something like, Nashville had 4 or 5 shots and we had 1, right? I mean, the score line was great,
Yeah.
but it was just this 90-second screamer. And the rest of the time we were battling in the midfield and struggling to maintain possession and getting rocked.
Struggling to get the ball into
we'll
the
talk
final
about
third.
the defense. Yeah.
Yeah, we have shots from distance. That's all we have.
Yeah.
And we've seen that also in the last couple of games. We had that issue. We don't get to those as many dangerous positions. I would say in phases, Ben, against Cincinnati, we did have some really good play and we dominated, but not consistently. We haven't seen it consistently. And I think Zelarayan had a good shot at the 46th minute. And I think that was the only other shot we pretty much had. I think we had 4 on target at least. It was like minute 1 and minute 46.
Not including the last like 10
There
minutes of
wasn't
the
a whole
game.
lot between there. Yeah. Oh yeah, in the first half.
Yeah. And I don't even think they were doing anything that crazy to like knock us off. It's just the same. Yeah, go ahead.
I think my question is, we talk about our game. What is our game? We're playing our game. What is our game? Possessing the ball, losing in transition, being bad at defense.
Yeah, I mean, I think our game
I'm not
is.
sure. And I'm not trying to be.
I try to be,
mean,
and
but
I typically try to be more of a moderator. But I'll weigh in since I'm in the middle of this. I think our game is what we're doing, but with a more sure-footed defense, right? I think, and so we need to talk about what's going on in the defense. But generally, yeah, I think we possess the ball. We play it through our twin sixes up to our. I've referred to it as the two-headed dragon, up top with between Matan and Zelarayan, and play balls through the middle and less of the crosses. Now, recently, we've seen more crosses coming from either side, trying to get aerial balls in, but. That's my take.
Yeah, I think the TLDR on Nazi's resume is he runs like a 3-4-3. He likes possession and he likes quick attacking, and so he doesn't play on the counter. He doesn't play defensive. Like when we go up 1-0, he doesn't do a Porter and go, okay, we're just going to sit back, absorb pressure. It's like, nope, all gas, no brakes. But they outshot us. Which, if you look at the very beginning of the season, we were outshooting teams like 3-1. And then we had possession like 60-70% of the time. And like that's slowly gotten worse. So while the defense is terrible, we're also not, at this point, we're not even connecting passes to get it up to that front three, which is a major problem.
And Nancy had a comment about that it's actually offensive play that causes some of our defensive issues. That we put them in bad situation with some turnovers because we don't execute. And he says that's because we try to play we challenge our players to make there are lower margin passes to penetrate their midfield. And that often, if that goes wrong, you're facing a turnover that goes straight down our throat. And then at the same time, when you also we're going to come to this, don't have the defense that can deal with that properly, then you're going to let in goals.
Okay, so and I think is there more to say about this, because I feel like we're tiptoeing around the defense thing. I'd like to talk about the goals in the second half, just real quick, so we can get those out of the way, and then I think we need to talk about our defense,
just general
systemic issues, and what we think we need to do to turn this around. Luckily, we're playing a pretty weak Colorado team who's on, I think I saw five
straight
losses, although we know what happened when we played Miami in the same position. So so we cut to halftime 1-0. And then in some succession, the Nashville stacked up 3 goals against us.
2 of those were very similar corner kicks, so we can kind of breeze through those.
Yes.
Very similar.
Yeah, go ahead.
Poor defending from multiple Crew players.
I love this subjectivity in your description, Haas. Keep it up.
And
typically you play it so straight, but just lay it out there.
You wanted to go
man.
through it quickly, so
yeah, please, yeah.
The first one, though, I do have to say, Bunbury was holding Schulte.
Yes,
and it affected the play. They looked at it for some reason. They didn't think it affected the play.
They were looking at it for offside.
He was holding on to him, and he couldn't get to his left, where he needed to be 2 steps to his left.
You could clearly see they were like locked arms.
Okay, hold on. Let Tracy talk about this, because Tracy was like, absolutely not. Yeah. So
okay, Trace, can you figure out your mute?
Yeah,
he's doing like an analog mute where you just mouth words.
Yeah. So we were talking about this before, and like Trey and I, no joke, spent probably 40 minutes on this morning. We have watched this
yelling at each other
100,000 times, and I think I can see both sides of this. So what I always try to point to is like Andrew Wiebe always like reviews some of these like really hot button topics and like things throughout the week. And I feel like for the most part, he is pretty spot on. I haven't been like, wow, you're an idiot, like ever. And so I posted a question. I found out someone had already done it. And he said, no, there's absolutely not a foul. And I was like, all right. So Trey
was saying.
MLS extra time. He's the MLS official, not him and a few other guys that aren't coming to mind.
I think he's on Apple, and he had a Hail Matan shirt on, shout out, like a couple weeks ago that I posted.
He's a good barometer of what is fair and not.
He's neutral.
For no matter what team. Yeah, he's neutral. I don't agree with the fact of he was being held, he was being shoved, he was being pushed back. If you go back and watch, when the corner is first kicked, he pushes Bunbury in the back, which is fair. There isn't a Crew player in between. Schulte starts to take a step back. It looks like he loses his balance as Bunbury is reaching for him. I don't think he grabs him. No, he doesn't. Schulte's hand is in front of him, not locked. And there's a yard in between him and Bunbury. So that's my issue with it, is that like I don't want to use the phrase he should have done better, he should have tried harder, but this is my point that when Ben and I were discussing, if Schulte makes that much more of an effort to get away from Bunbury, quote unquote, it would have shown if it was a foul or not. The fact that he didn't, it made it so it was like,
Yeah. We dissected it pretty hard. So, yes, there is. So we went nuts, man. I went through all the corners of that game, and then to make a point, and I do want to talk about this after the fact. I actually watched a lot of the corners from the Charlotte-Nashville game, and I went through our Miami game, and I went through another game of all the corners. Like, I went nuts. I spent like an hour just looking at corner kicks. And so in this specific thing, in general, it is a rugby style, like people get after it in the box, and they don't normally call any of that. So the issue is he kind of does hold him. He kind of does like, he does kind of hold him. I mean, the main problem is it is not enough. So when I went back through and looked at the stuff, Nashville typically doesn't have somebody on the keeper, or at least they didn't for like 2 of their other games. So they knew this was something that we do. The correct way to do this, and of course we've all played this sport for a long time, is if someone is marking the keeper, you put someone in between yourself and the keeper, and you push that guy as far away from the keeper as possible. Like you never let a guy shoot like box out your keeper ever, period. Like that's not a thing. And I have a prime example that the couple corners, Bronico from Charlotte, Bunbury tried to do this to that guy, and the ref had to stop the game twice because he was just like Bronico had an elbow in Bunbury's back and pushed him all the way up to the goalpost. Like he wasn't letting him get anywhere near the keeper, and he kept pushing back. And I mean, the one I watched specifically, there was obviously basically he kept trying to do that to the keeper again, and Bronico tackled him, and the ref was just like, nope. Like, I'm not going to give that as a foul in the box, even though it was like clearly he tackled Bunbury. But like, that's just something you do not do. The frustrating thing about this is every corner after this happened, no one marked Bunbury in between. Like, he was constantly on. They didn't switch anything.
Well,
no one did anything
speaking
different.
Of not marking anyone, Vallecilla and Quinton were marking each other on that first corner, and they both missed the ball trying to jump up and get it. I mean, it was just bad.
Yeah. Was that the one where Quinton, we were talking about just like how massive he is and how did he not jump or something? Was this the one that like breezed over his head?
That was the next one.
Okay, so we'll get to that.
One.
And I don't think we need to relitigate the holding thing. I mean, I thought he looked like he was being held. If it's legit, if it's not, it really doesn't matter at this point.
Looked at it.
We need more.
No, yeah. The only thing that I said to Ben was it was 50-50. If you're a Crew fan, it's a penalty. If you're a Nashville fan, it's not. It's one of those calls. Like
I'm still gonna say I think it was a foul, but
that's fine. I'll say I don't think it was.
And I can tell you why it wasn't called. I think you had the point right there. We don't make a big deal out of it. You make a confrontation. We get a guy in there that check it up. The ref comes in and be aware that there is contact and all that. You know what happens after you do that? He calls that free kick.
There is no.
And we have talked about this. We talked about the damn street smart. It's so freaking naive. Everything. It's so naive. We're going to make it pretty. We have nobody back there that like really just grabs this game by the scruff.
Yeah, a Chad Marshall, Josh Williams will do it. Deganek used to do it.
And
like,
it's so naive.
passive.
It's like I'm sorry, I'm here. We're going to come back to that with another opportunity. But it's like,
and that is completely
all right.
And we talked about Bunbury. He is like a nasty player. You're like, I hate that guy. But we have not. I would love to have some of that on our team.
Yeah.
There's like an attitude. We're going to make this pretty smart. We're going to do this and this. We don't have anybody that does like, you know what? I'm going to drive these people crazy doing this extra little thing, pushing and shoving. You love that for your team.
So,
we don't have anybody doing that right now.
Hawes, let's run through the next one because it's practically the same conversation.
Opposite corner. This one is Moreira and Quinton not marking properly. And Amundsen gets caught ball watching. You see him look over his shoulder twice at Fafa. And as the ball's kicked, he's watching the ball, and Fafa runs around right in front of him and taps it in.
Yeah, also...
you see his
that's Bunbury. I'm sorry. Runs around him.
Yeah, Bunbury.
Heads it down, nutmegs him.
I have two things on that. First, you saw Amundsen. He was, he knew right away that he had dropped his man and missed him. But another thing, Schulte, he pushes Bunbury into the ball. Like he pushes him into the right position for that head ball. He interacts again with Bunbury, and he shouldn't. There should be another guy being there to Ben's forward. And the third thing is the corner comes from Schulte not just holding on to a very basic save, and we have to just clear the ball. So there's so many.
And this was the one you're telling me. And I'm sorry that I don't know. This was the one where they showed the replay, and it like Quinton. How does he not? How does he not get his head on that ball?
That's exactly my point. If you watch, that's Mark. You hit it on the head.
Trey and I watched this.
He was in the right position to begin with. He takes 2 steps forward, thinking he can get there. Jumps, doesn't get there, and it falls right to where he was. It is just purely bad position.
100%.
That's all. That's all it is on his. He was in the right position, moved into a bad one, didn't get to the ball. it goes back to what I was saying last week of he's still playing like he's playing in a lower league. He's doing things that he thinks he can get away with. And
they're
he's not
taking
up to the
advantage
level.
of it.
Like, that's
I think more of it's like an age.
That's
thing.
a stupid mistake.
The Amundsen
stupid
mistake was the first goal. I just needed to correct that. My bad.
No, yeah,
was the
that's
first
okay.
one.
I mean, if you watch it in this one, it was Cucho followed the runner over
Yeah, fine.
across the 6. Ball comes in high. As a defender, attack from in to out, attack the ball as you watch the flight. He just misjudged it, went out too far,
It
tried
was
to
also
jump and
in the
didn't get it.
6-yard box. I thought Schulte could have done more there. It was the
Schulte's
middle of the
probably
6-yard
could.
box
Push-
that the
no,
ball
he's-
came into.
He's busy pushing.
He probably could, except
for-
Cranberry.
You expect your 6'6" player to get something on the ball when
Absolutely
he
not
steps forward
Schulte's
to attack
fault.
it.
Not a chance. No. We're talking
No,
about
no,
an inch.
but
And or if because Quentin misses that and shields everybody, like there is
No,
you
I'm
expect
not
your defender to make that.
If a
make
corner is
that.
kicked,
no,
mean-
I don't say it's his. I don't say it's his fault, but again, he interact with that player when the corner is halfway. He's in this push position because he has
if a
just
corner
pushed
kick is
off
kicked
Bunbury.
into the 6-yard box, a goalie should be getting to it.
Exactly.
It
And that's not
literally,
the
he's
first time he
standing
hasn't
in
been-
the 6-yard box when he heads it down.
Kinda.
and he's not far off the ground. He's standing on the ground. He's probably 6 foot off the ground when it hits. his
Watch
head.
it
Not
again and tell me that's not Quentin. Like
I'm
if
not
I'm the
blaming
goalie,
him. No, it is
I'm pointing
Quentin.
at Quentin like, dude, what? How
I
do
agree.
you not?
And
And
Well,
Marrero
that-
wasn't
that-
marking.
that was
Yes.
the
like no.
nobody.
Yeah.
so
He
Marrero
was on the
wasn't
wrong
inside.
side of.
Quentin misses Quentin misses
Hey,
the
hey,
ball.
I-
The best
I
thing
think
was
the
Quentin turning around doing the arm thing
Yeah.
out of frustration after
Guys.
he misses the ball.
Yeah.
The conclusion is there's so many things that goes wrong, and there's so much things that come from inexperience. I know we're going to hit
Yeah.
upon this as soon as we get through.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So
The
then,
game.
All right.
and we
All right.
thought the game was over. 90+7. What happened?
Actually, I would say first
We were
Yeah.
pushing.
we put on some pressure and
Both sides
and,
had a bunch of looks towards the end.
yeah. Oh yeah, they had one that they should have
Yeah.
scored. There were 2-on-1 at the end, but Cucho
We had 10
almost scored
strikers
one of
in
the goals
at
of
the end, didn't we?
seasons. Yeah, and again we subbing in like, I got a text like, how many strikers do we have? in
I think we got
Yeah.
6. I'm
Right?
like, let's go.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Well, I come back to that
Well,
point.
Viacia gets hurt. It's a hamstring. He's out for, they think, a couple weeks is what they're saying. I mean, if it's a pulled hamstring, literally that's 3 or 4 weeks of like not doing anything to heal it. Hamstring's a nightmare to heal. I mean, let's look at Reyna. Yeah. Yeah, look at Mort. Oh, boy, I feel so bad for Mort. But then Zawadzki comes in because guess what? We have no center back defensive people. So we have a 6 come
I
in.
love that song.
Yeah, I was a little pitchy. And I think the frustration is like, we make our sub again in the 84th minute. What do you think? How long does it take to come in and affect a game? You need 5 minutes to really get into the game, and at that point it's 90. What are we doing here?
Hey, his sub almost got a goal. I should do better.
Well, okay, but I mean, you put him in for 20 minutes and he gets that look and he puts himself in that position. Now add double the time, triple the time.
I don't.
You know what I mean? Because I know that people were very
yeah.
frustrated with him on Twitter and stuff, and I think that is just hog crap. Like, there's no way whatsoever you should be mad at Rowe. Like, how are you being mad at Rowe? But he had
Really?
6
Of
minutes.
all the people,
I know,
you're gonna
it's
be mad at,
insane.
You're going to be mad at
Yeah,
him.
get out of my face.
Oh my
Yeah.
lord.
So yeah, Mukhtar scores in the 97th minute. He basically Yeboah, I don't know if he's actually hurt or not, but he goes up limp on the
They
play.
didn't say anything.
Cramps or
He's
something.
wide open down the right side.
It might be. It
Goes
could be.
1-on-1 with Morris. Morris does a good job to get back, but does a couple step overs, cuts to the right,
But you
kicks
know
it
he's
with his
just
right
gonna-
foot up into the bottom of the up
Yeah,
into
he
the
bit.
top of the net.
He
It's
bit. And I'm
not-
like,
He spun
God,
him
bit
around.
on it.
bite
It
against
was
that
not-
guy.
It was. I don't really care that
Yeah.
was game was
No.
over. Whatever
Yeah.
else, but that was not
No,
good.
Aiden had a good
But
game in
that's-
general. He shut him down considering how good Mukhtar is. Like, what was he did he win last year's player of the year? Like, that dude is
Yeah,
easily
so-
the top
Yeah,
two.
and he's a favorite.
He's
this
sick.
year
That
right
guy's
now, too,
awesome. And it's
because
like,
he's up there.
he shut him down all game. Like, we did really well. We got scored off 2 set pieces, nothing in the run of play. And I'm just like, I'm like, please don't bite. And he just bit that 1 second and got burnt. And I was like, no, Aiden.
I really hate the fact
Put him
that
on a.
I really hate the fact that he seems like a really
Oh, he's a great guy. Gosh dang it. I hate it.
No Bunbury.
hate it.
No.
No Bunbury.
Yeah, not a second. But I mean, we also almost scored. That Cucho
Cucho
goal would have
bike.
been like, oh man, I'm talking taking pants off, running around
Oh,
the
yeah.
neighborhood goal. But I couldn't walk at that point. That was a rough day.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have been.
That was nasty. All right, so let's shift. So 3-1, we lost. We'll talk about this week's games here after the break. But before we break, I think we should talk just about the defense situation, where we are in the season. You know, where were we, like 14 or so games in?
20 games left.
We're like a
20 games left.
Yeah, we're almost halfway in the season here, guys.
Almost half.
Yep.
And we're about 2/3 through the first half and of the season. Trade window doesn't open till early July.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah,
So
July 5th.
we're not gonna. We can't.
Which we
Are
claim
there
on.
any mechanisms to get relief?
That
like,
day
from
will
the
be our
MLS
Independence Day. Nailed it.
Yeah. So what are we gonna do?
We play on July
What are we gonna
4th.
do?
not 5th.
What are we gonna do about our defense?
Well, we'll
Ooh.
touch on this probably when we come
I
back.
don't know what to do.
No,
That's
what
the-
do you mean? No,
yeah.
we're touching on it now. We're going to touch on it right now. I want you to talk about it.
No, we're screwed.
100%.
We're screwed. In very short terms, we're screwed. And this is a front office crap job, to put it on that way. We addressed this when they shipped off one of our favorite players, right?
You think this was a Mensa
strong
thing?
Defensive.
Yeah.
This is not only a Mensa thing.
Not at
This
the
is-
time, but
No, not
it's
a time,
come back
but-
to bite them.
Yeah. And yes, we had some injuries, but actually there was a chance early on to strengthen the back. We already knew some of the injuries were long
Yeah.
term.
Josh.
Like Josh
He
Williams
was
is
healthy
long-
when
yeah.
we traded Mensa.
So you had a chance
he was
to bring
practicing
someone-
and healthy. It was shortly
No,
after.
no, but I mean, like when we brought in
Sure.
Amundsen, right? That was the end. That was the day. That was the end of the window,
Mm-hmm.
and we already knew then who we were starting. We were already starting these guys at
Yeah.
that point. And,
I think
and
Deganik
it's-
was
it's
hurt
just-
after the window closed.
Correct.
Isn't that right?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but you start a rookie and you look at your bench, and I'm worried too, because look at the other thing. We haven't even addressed this because we're talking about the squad. Who else is out there going to do a job in midfield if Morris and Agbe gets injured?
Zawadski.
Parente.
Yeah.
Those two.
I know
I think Zawadski's fine. Parente, I can understand.
they're fine coming in,
Yeah,
and
but they're not
so
winning us games.
green.
They're not winning
There's
us
no,
games.
who is the
That was-
leader out there?
That was where we
Yeah.
had depth.
Nagbe.
Last year we were like 5 deep in the middle.
Yeah, some of
we
those
had
players were
tons of players
whatever.
that could step up. Yeah, no, but they have experience. and
Yeah.
they can come in and do a job.
Well,
But
to your
now-
point, if
Yep.
Nagbe's injured, there's no leader, right? Like,
Is he that vocal of a leader? And that is a
but he does have
massive
the
problem.
experience. But he does have the experience, and everyone that we're talking about is under 17.
Yeah, Zelly and Cucho aren't really. I wouldn't put them on that. Yeah.
No,
They can't buy
they are
cigs.
the playmakers. They're not. I mean, they're finishing. That's
And it goes to show with those goals, it's like no one stepped up and was
And-
like, "You're not going to touch my goalkeeper." Like no one has that grit or balls in the back right now. It's so hard to watch.
because they don't have the confidence. They're rookies put into this position, right? And they don't even have like a leader there, like Mensah or Dagnik to lead them on. So when they're injured, they have nobody to kind of lean on.
Schulte
and-
included. He's not even
Included.
experienced
Included.
enough to ask for what he needs.
Yeah,
Exactly, and
although they should have known. I'm just saying.
Well, and Williams, per FOTMob,
they should have known. And me,
he's due back early June.
Yep.
Williams. Kevin Molino, midfielder, due back early June. Luis Diaz, early June. I know this isn't an answer to the defense, but I'm just listing off what I'm seeing on injuries.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I can trust any of that because then it says Will Sands is due back mid-June of 2023, and we all know that is not true. So
Yeah, that's not good.
the timelines that I'm seeing are questionable, but Williams is close. Is he going to be fit? Who knows?
And Mars, to your point, on July 5th, they better make a statement and do something. I'm a season ticket holder. I'm not paying my entry fee to watch Next Pro players. Then I can go and pay $6 and watch Next Pro. We don't need a half a TiVo Next Pro. We have some good talent up and coming. There should not be like half our team starting with Next Pro players. It's not good enough. It's young, it's naive, and like we said, we need somebody that can take this team and give him a little bit of an edge.
So I think where we're at this point is we can't change the injury situation.
No.
We can't change people who are injured or might get injured. So what do we do? I think he's got to get creative, especially if we just lost Vallecilla. We're no longer at a plug and play situation.
No, we were joking. We should put Ramirez in the back or something because they had some size to him.
Yeah, or do something different to try to stem the counterattacks that are coming through at our
4
defense.
in the back, probably.
We
not
talked
even
about
four-
we talked
Yeah,
about
but that
this
was
last
before
week,
we
right?
didn't have Vallecilla. I mean, at this point, it's like we have Jake Morris,
Are we
Keegan
that much
Hughes.
worse off?
Neither one of those. Like Keegan was so poor in Pitt. Holy cow!
Talking about Amundson's played a little bit at left center back for us since he's been on the team.
Yeah,
Just like
and you know what?
he's had minutes there.
And even Zawadzki didn't look that bad when he comes in because he's really good on the ball. I mean, you sacrifice some defensive yada yada yada, but we don't have that right now anyway. So we're like upgrading somebody.
Do we have
I'm just
do we have experience in leadership in the back? Is there anyone we can put in
No.
the back that has experience in leadership?
No.
Question mark?
Room
not
wasn't
the
that
question.
vocal from what I understand either.
But he has experience.
Oh, no, Room could be vocal. I mean, there was multiple times.
I'm
he was
not saying it's the
screaming,
answer.
but
I'm saying it's an option. Something that
I
can
can
change
scream. Should I
it's
be
an
involved?
option.
when he's
His
healthy.
voice
an
is
option.
functional.
I could scream. Can you milk me? Is that how that works?
Fucker.
I mean, because it sounds like we're missing that. There's a leadership void in the back
On the field, period.
It is. This team is almost as lap-sided as they come right now. When it comes
Chelsea.
to, from the front to the back, it's like we talked about. We just ended the game with like 6
I know.
forwards or something.
And if you look, all of
That's really
our
cool.
highest rated players were the top 3, and then Aiden Morris. Aiden Morris had a good game. Everybody else was like literally 1 point lower.
Okay.
I haven't watched enough Crew 2. I haven't watched enough of the cup games actually to see what's out there we can put in. But we have definitely concluded that MLS Next Pro is a huge gap
Agree.
between that and
Yeah.
MLS.
Yeah.
Which is fine. That's what
Uh,
it's supposed to be. You know,
Oh yeah.
It's fine to bring
So-
players in and bring them off the bench for extended minutes. That's fine, but they not.
So let's look at what we've got. So let's assume that we're going to get some kind of saving grace by injury recovery and or a signing or two to reinforce the back. We're not going to get leadership, but probably not leadership by a signing, right? I mean, just to like kind of plug somebody in mid-season, I think it'd be hard to like have somebody assume a leadership role as a new hire, right?
No,
Just generally speaking.
I don't know. Look at LAFC. They brought in what is his name? Scalini.
Cellini.
And Cellini, thank you. Teresa Charm. And he doesn't even play all that much.
Yeah.
But their defense got better just from him
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just saying,
true.
theoretically, we may be more likely to get leadership out of an injured player coming back, like a Josh Williams.
It's got to
or
be
someone
from
like
the
that, or
coach.
Deganek.
The coach need.
What's Deganek's status?
But
I'm sorry.
here's
Out through
here's the
July.
thing though. We're like, doesn't it tell you something when we're like, oh, I'm really hoping that Josh Williams is going to come back and save us.
Well, yeah.
We got to get through. We got to get
Welcome
through a
to
few
now.
more. This is where I'm headed. Is we got to get
No,
through a few more
exactly, yeah.
games. We've got Colorado and Charlotte this week. We got Chicago after that. I don't think Chicago. I don't have the table up in front of me. I don't think Chicago's doing that well. New York City.
Chicago has 16 points.
They're doing a lot better.
2 points
They're
less
doing
than
a lot
us.
better. They started awful.
Yeah, there's a lot of parity.
Nashville at home on June 24th. Red Bull
struggling
at home
Mhm.
on July 1st. And Miami away.
Correct.
Is that right?
And
Miami
then,
away on July
way this team-
4th.
so we
so-
played July 1st, July 4th, and July 8th. Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. How can they schedule that? That's insane.
Well, we've got depth, so we should be fine.
Yeah. Well, so how many games is
I
that?
think-
It's like
I think I
5,
said-
6,
Yeah, we have depth.
7 game. We got 7 more games before the window opens up. What are we gonna do? What
Yeah,
what
I
are we
know.
gonna do between now and then? Let's go around. Let's just go around the horn real quick and talk about that. Couple minutes here, and then we'll go to a break. Go to Bird. We'll talk about next week, and we'll get out of here so that we can watch the Colorado game.
Well, I think it's at this point, if we're gonna do that, I think we can call out. We asked for questions, and we got a question from Way.
Again,
He just wants to be
thank
called
you.
Way.
Thank you, Wade.
So yeah, I appreciate it, man.
What did I call him last time?
We were using his full Twitter handle.
Yeah, Way Herman.
All right.
We won't say that. He's like, just FYI, it's just Way. Kind of
All right.
love that. But he says the team desperately needs better defense. So who is the best center back for the Crew, or the best center back the Crew could feasibly sign during the summer window? And I think that's a good place to start. So I mean, we don't know of an answer. I think next week we should talk about what he actually does over the next 2 games and if it worked or if it didn't work, because I don't have like a good thing. But do we want to answer this now or do we want to go to a break? Break.
Answer it now. No, answer it now.
All right.
Answer now.
We've been going long.
Hey,
I was just trying to figure out how should we answer this, because
No,
I
but
have a couple of people I want, but that aren't realistic.
I know.
I think we need realistic answers only
Oh.
for this. If you
Well, we have
I don't
money.
have a player in mind.
It's a realistic answer. It just isn't a probable answer.
No, I think a realistic
more of like
answer
if-
is a guy we don't know who is at the moment, and then we find a name and be like,
Well,
oh,
do we
yeah, he
trust
sounds
Bez
like
and
he's
everybody to
great.
target the right person? I mean, I think we do, and I think Nazi plays because all right. So a prime example is what Cincinnati did to strengthen their defense. They brought in Miazga, and whether we like it or not, he has done a great job in the MLS. Now, different when he plays on the U.S. team, and whatever. And I don't love his attitude and stuff like that, but he did well. I would love to see us bring in, right now, also the other thing is a lot of people just got relegated. There's different clauses, there's different things shaking up. So, I mean, you could find like a championship player, or, I think somebody was talking about some of the Leicester.
Oh, I'm shooting higher.
You're thinking Tim Ream? We talked about
Yeah.
that.
No, does he still have a
Yeah,
broken
but
arm?
I'll take him with a broken arm. Yeah.
I don't care.
Wrap it
I'll
up.
take him with the broken arm.
I would love to see Mark
How about this?
McKenzie.
Could I let me change the question? And we're kind of, I want to get through this so that we can get to the next segment. And it's an important question, but it's a pretty long list, and we could just throw out a Christmas wish list for July or whatever. But what are the qualities that we're looking for? I mean, and we've talked about it. We need someone who is experienced, who could not necessarily take a team leadership role, but like a defensive line leadership role, through their experience. Yes, we agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We need someone who is probably going to outclass our current, as Mort said, next pro contingent, right? We want someone who's either
Which
MLS
is everyone.
or better, right? Yeah, I mean, it's like not hard to find, but
I
a
would
class
say
or
that,
two
yeah.
higher, like a South American league. I'm just thinking like incrementally, how do we
about
step up the
If
pedigree?
Rivera has a left-footed buddy, that's what I would like to have.
Can
on
we?
the other side.
I guess my thing is that I want to stop thinking like small.
Yes.
like and I'm just gonna say, the player that I have in mind is currently playing
Guessing game
in
time.
Europe. He's He's out of
Okay.
contract.
Brendan Aronson.
Argentinian national team player. Former Man City player, defender. Got a market value of $3 million.
Seems doable.
Why am I drawing a blank?
Nicholas
Otamendi.
Otamendi.
Where's he at now? He's not at City.
Benfica.
And they just won the title. I mean, but if he stays with them, he plays in.
This is the type of player that I want to see the team target.
Yeah, sure. We have the money.
You got a player
$3 million?
that's-
There's no way.
That's his salary at Benfica is 2.27.
What? Do you have
How
his
old is he?
number?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have Argentinians on this team. You have South Americans on
Do
this
you know
team.
his age?
47.
He's older. He's 35. But
Yeah, it doesn't
bringing
fit.
him, I'm not talking long term. I don't want him
Yeah,
long
yeah.
term.
Yeah,
I
we
want
kind of need
him
a
now.
Chiellini where it's like you don't necessarily because I mean, when Deganek gets healthy, he comes back. But I still think we need. It would be. I agree. We kind of need a left-footed left center back would be awesome. And I don't know. I mean, I think we need a left-footed left center back, and then we need a. I mean, do we replace Deganek? Because my hope was that he would have Deganek would have a great start of the season. We'd sell him on during the summer and get money, and then grab somebody
not-
even better.
No,
Shoot, I wanna
Degnick
see-
is fine there in the middle when he's healthy. We
Yeah.
just need a Moreira on the left
Yeah.
side of him too.
I want
Not
my
only on the
center
right
back,
side.
and I'm
trying to think. Yeah, I'm trying to think bigger. I'm trying not to like pick
Yeah.
the
Dang,
obvious
Otamendi's
type.
under
Oh,
$3
MLS
million.
retread. Let me go get.
How's
so-and-so.
Mensa doing?
Yeah,
Not great.
don't know.
No, he's not doing great.
I think San Jose is struggling.
Yeah, in general, he doesn't.
Yeah.
That's not.
If it wasn't for the injuries, Mensa wouldn't even be a blink on the radar. We would all kind
It
of
was
be
a
like,
great
yeah, that's
trade
fine,
at the
okay.
time. I'll
It's
stand
probably
with
hurt,
that.
But
All right. I heard some
San Jose's
chatter
doing better
earlier
than
about
us.
how,
One
you
point
know,
less.
that was a mistake.
Well,
or
he was a
something,
great
so-
guy, and Mort has a big heart. He's a sweetie.
All right.
hindsight is
Okay.
2020.
Yeah,
All right.
he is.
Yep.
So let's continue this discussion.
Yeah,
over
thanks,
the next
Way.
week or two.
Give me your answer.
It's a tricky question. We'll come.
I
up
mean,
with
yeah,
something
and the
pretty
fact
close
is
to-
that there's just we can go around and we could name people. I think that writing the job description is probably a good first step. So let's now go to a break. When we come back, we'll
Move forward.
go to Bird,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna do our
A bird,
predictions and get out of here.
Bird's a word.
So we'll be right. Trap.
Well, drop.
Will trap.
Right trap.
This episode of the Upper 90 Club is brought to you, as always, by Supporter Supply Company. Hi, friends, this is your good pal Morgan Hughes, here to talk to you about a serious issue facing 96% of all crew supporters in Columbus. Why, not enough free shipping, of course. For a limited time now, through the eventual heat death of the universe, Upper 90 Club listeners can use the promo code Upper90Boys. That's boys with a Z on the end of it, at checkout for free delivery on absolutely any order over $10. But Morgan, what if I order $10 worth of stickers, or those goddamned buttons, or some other combination of small items that make you want to kill yourself? Will the free shipping still apply then, even as you curse our family, while you package up our little tiny annoying ass order for us? Of course it will. That's just how much we here at Supporter Supply value our friends at the Upper 90 Club. So head on over to supportersupply.co and use the promo code Upper90Boys. That's boys with a Z at checkout for free shipping on all your orders over $10. And don't forget to tell them that your friends at the Upper 90 Club sent ya.
Hey guys, thanks for having me again. Not the best of situations here. Tough week for crew fans in general, tough weeks for the Cappies. I think this is the first time that they've lost back-to-back games in team history. So it's not a feeling that we Crew 2 fans are used to at all. But, there's still some good stuff to talk about. In the first game against the New England Revolution 2, or the Civil Unrest, as we like to say it, I believe the team was the better team on the field. There was some issues with passing in the midfield, especially the short passes. I think a lot of bit of it had to do with the turf. The turf seemed to be a little bit problematic. The ball kept on getting stuck during passes. It would bounce randomly. And of course, that affects both teams. So I'm not trying to create an excuse or anything. Another thing to take into consideration is that a few of our key players, Thomas Roberts, Taha, and Jubran Rayo, went to play that game right after having played in Pittsburgh against the River Rounds on the first team's defeat over there. So those guys, traveled from Columbus to Pittsburgh, played a game, and then traveled from Pittsburgh to Boston, played another game, all within 3 days. So they're probably tired. In the end, it was a couple mistakes and a couple lucky goals by them that led to a 2-0 defeat. And then on Sunday, right before the crew, the first team played, we got to face Philadelphia Union 2. This, again, away from home. And we started really well. We got the first 2 goals of the game in the first half. One of them, it was, a good play. I didn't get to watch it, but my wife did. And she told me that the team passed the ball around a bunch and then passed the ball into the box, and then eventually it got into the goal. And if you watch the replay, that's exactly what happened. I had to go grab us some food, and so I didn't get to watch it. But I watched the second one. I thought it was kind of a soft PK. The ref was, giving all the calls. He was giving yellow cards like it was Halloween candy. And you just have to remember and understand that this is also a development league for referees, so you can't be too mad about it. But the referee for that second game was not good. So the ref also gave a soft PK to Philadelphia. That was their second goal, and they ended up tying. And then it was a pretty even game. 2 teams going back and forth. And eventually, the crew was creating chances. The Cappies were creating chances. The Philadelphia goalie was having a great night, making some wonderful saves. And then, as luck has it, their player got a hat trick with a wonderful goal that Brady Scott, our goalie, could do nothing about. And so that was the winning goal for them, and the game ended 3-2. And it hasn't been good. The team has had a lot of turnover because of needs of having to send some players to play with the first team. There's been a lot of games in a short amount of time, so they're probably tired. So I'm not too upset about these defeats. I think that the team is still playing well. They are still very disciplined in the field, and they still are creating a lot of chances. We just honestly got unlucky the last couple of games. And I think that this Sunday against the Chicago Fire 2, we have a good chance to go back and to good form. The Fire or the Sparkles are not, doing really well this season so far. And we're back at home. So I think that the Capybaras will have a good chance to go back into the winning side, and hopefully the first team goes there as well. Again, thanks for having me. Thank you so much for having me, and go Crew.
All right, we're back. Thanks again, Bird.
Love you, Bird.
Sorry that
Thanks, Bird.
Crew 2 finally fell off the top of the mountain there.
Still doing well.
But I think they're playing
Up 2-0, lost 3-2 kind of stinks, but hey.
Yeah,
Here
they're playing Chicago on the 4th this weekend. Interesting. They're like ahead of the Crew by a week. Okay, let's jump into our predictions. We've got a game here. This thing goes live sometime on Wednesday. We got a game tonight. And then we have another game on Saturday. The game tonight is against Colorado, as we said, and we're playing Charlotte again at home on Saturday.
On turf.
So, I will be honest with you before I hand the mic over here. I was feeling pretty bad about thinking I was going to get the score right with a loss prediction.
Sure about that?
At 2-1.
You
I
sure
am
about
sure
that? That's
about
why?
that. Let me tell you, I was
Sure about
really feeling like there would be no glory in getting a loss prediction correct. I'm considering not guessing any more losses. We'll see how I do on that, but it was a bad feeling. I was feeling pretty pretty donkey-ish.
Yeah.
You know,
But
like
you're still smiling.
oh
as you're
yeah, I
crying.
won.
Smile, cry.
I won. Yeah, exactly. It was a pretty bad feeling. So, frankly,
That's weird
I
because
I
you're
didn't
holding up
mind
a
seeing
gold
that
medal
third
right
goal
now and you're smiling.
All right, Mort. So now that I've exuded.
No,
the-
Twitter,
the
let him
holiness
have it.
that
Be like,
that I hope to. Yeah.
bar weather fan, wears a
Yeah,
diaper
bar
on his
weather.
face
So,
or whatever.
yeah,
I don't know what to say.
no one farther than me. So,
Furthest
all right,
fair.
Mark, go through the predictions from last week, and then we'll run through this week's games real quick.
So I'm not going to go in too much detail. We lost 3-1. Trey had a tie 1-1 in the prediction. Haas, Ben, and myself all had losses. Actually wins. Sorry.
When a win can be a loss,
And then
the
Mars,
club is
of course, and Mars had a 2-1 loss, and he was 97 minutes.
Yeah. 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
He's like
left.
biting the gold
What?
thing to make sure it's real as he's like the end of the game.
But this is what it means is that Mars pulls ahead even further.
Yeah,
with,
an extra point,
One more
yes.
point. He has 9 points. He now created a gap down to Ben that follows with 6 points and Trey with 5 points. And then Haas and I still in the bottom.
I mean,
there,
it's
but,
anybody's game.
you know, with less than half the points that Mars has.
Yeah.
I hope you're happy with yourself, Mars.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not particularly. I'm not predicting any
Stop
losses
smiling.
this week. And it sounds like, honestly, if we do lose and I don't predict a loss, I have plenty of
Points to
room.
not worry about.
Right? I have room to.
There's no
to-
shame in calling a
but-
loss
Yeah.
correctly.
You've got some Eloy room
shame.
between yourself
Yeah.
and everybody.
Okay. All right. So let's go around. Let's start with tonight's game against Colorado. Hawes, kind of give us a rundown just before we do the Colorado, let's have Hawes do a refresh on the table and where us and these other two teams stand.
So our first match against Colorado, they are in 13th out of 14 places in the West. 2 wins, 6 draws, 7 losses. They have lost their last 5 games in a row, including an Open Cup game, so not all league play.
Right.
Been there.
And head-to-head, we've won 4 times against them. We've drawn 4 times, and they've won 7 times over the history of us playing them.
Well, they have that. They're up.
Yeah.
Weird.
Then we are going...
Altitude, man.
That's true. We're going up against Charlotte on Saturday. Charlotte is currently... Where is it? 6th place in the East. 6 wins, 3 draws, 4 losses. Or I'm sorry, 6 wins, 3 draws, 6 losses, 21 points.
But they've also played one
lost-
more game.
They've lost one of their last 4 league play matches, and they also were taken out of the Open Cup by a lower level league team. So,
Whatever.
And they beat us, as we remember,
and Justin
a
Miram
few weeks back.
has 4 assists and 2 goals in his 8 appearances with Charlotte.
Good on him. He was like player of the match. What?
Yeah,
2 games?
he's doing
ago or
well with
something like
Charlotte
that?
right now.
How is he?
match
How is he at defense? Because could we?
He's not left-footed.
All right.
Non-existent.
Yeah. It's the right-footed meat hook.
Yeah, we play a pretty high
didn't he-
hairline, so I don't know if it would work out.
Oh yes! All right, easy.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
That's a warning. That's a
Hey,
warning.
man, look at
That's a
me.
warning.
I look like a dingbat.
Okay. All right.
They've worked before we get up.
Can you tell us where the crew's hit?
Yeah, the crew is currently sitting in
Just out of playoffs.
10th place, yes. 9th place is playoffs, 10th place is out. 5 wins, 3 draws, 6 losses. 18 points.
Okay. All right. Let's go around. Ben, Colorado.
Yeah.
What's the score?
I'm gonna go 3-1. I think we're gonna come out swinging, and they're not very good. You know what? Let's go
3-1
Let's go
crew?
2-1. I lied. 2-1.
2-1.
Crew?
Yeah, we're gonna swing, but not like
Okay.
swinging. You know what I mean?
Mort.
Not pineapples.
Yeah, upside down pineapple.
This is one of the hardest.
Is it though?
Because of where we
It
come
is
from.
because we're
It's like-
bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's
they're
like the
bad
Miami.
too. So maybe
We're
we
injured.
both lose.
That's called a tie.
I don't know.
3-0 Columbus Crew because I have so much faith in our defense.
Wow, you're so far, Weather.
Look
All right,
at
Trey.
this man. Look.
I gone
at
over the
him.
edge. I've tweeted.
No, three. No, you're good.
Yeah.
You're good. That's not a crazy scoreline. Trey, what do you think?
I think Mort's insane. We just spent
yeah.
35 minutes talking about how bad our defense is. And he guesses
Shut
3-0.
Hey,
4-1, Crew.
4-1.
I like it.
I'm about to
Yeah.
spit.
Yeah.
12-2. Our defense is terrible.
Got 4-1.
Take.
The first goal was just scored by Mort.
Morton is insane.
Mort's insane. 12-7. There's a safety.
All right.
And
All right, Haas, what are we going to do?
Tied for their top scorer is Lawless Abubakar.
which
with
I
2
would
goals.
love to have back. I love that dude.
He's injured.
No.
Oh.
Yeah,
I
I
love that
saw he's out for a little while. I can't remember the injury. I'm going 2-0 Crew.
2-0.
That's a good one. I feel like that might be it.
Okay.
Do a loss.
All right.
Do a loss.
No, I'm not going to do a loss. 1-1 for me.
Wow.
Oh,
That would feel like
man.
a loss, to be honest with you.
I can hear Twitter. Mars.
You can hear Twitter because
You know-
you're insane.
It's my
I can
hand.
hear it.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Not even on a
So,
podcast. You're in your parents'
Ben said
basement.
2-1. Mort said 3-0. Trey said 4-1. Haas said
2-0.
2-0.
2-0, and I said 1-1. Okay. All right. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Let's go to Charlotte. I'm gonna guess a 2-1 win.
Actually, we're not going to Charlotte. Charlotte's
Okay.
Yeah. Let's go to the Charlotte game.
You're insane.
Love it.
coming. What did you say?
I
You
said 2-1. 2-1 Crew.
Oh, wow.
And Haas.
I'm going 2-2.
Oh, a little tiny
Tie at
dress.
home.
A little tutu.
2-2.
A little tutu.
Ben knows that. Ben
Ben wears
Ben
that.
reacts that way because he has 3 daughters. Yeah. Okay. Trey.
Ooh.
They-
1-0 Crew.
1-0
Oh man, that would be
Crew.
great.
Okay. Yeah, it would be. That would be an interesting scoreline that I do not anticipate seeing.
It will be absolutely
jacket
ins-
score.
Like, it will be Morton insane if we go the rest of the season without winning 1-0. Like,
Yeah.
holy crap.
Okay. All right, Mort.
You know, we're going to be all hyped up after that 3-0 win.
You mean
Over
4-1?
You mean 4-1? Yeah.
Yeah, 3-0 win. We're going to come in there. We're going to be so hyped. It's Saturday. We're going to be like having a drink, feeling good. And it's going to be just a snoozer 0-0.
0-0. Yeah.
Wow.
Have we seen that yet? This year?
No, we have not seen a 0-0.
All right. Okay. Ben.
Snooze fest.
I could see that, Mort. That's a good guess.
I don't think anybody's
I like
guessed
that.
0-0. What was the score of the last time we played? Was that 2-1 them?
Yeah, I think so.
2-1 them?
1-0 them.
Charlotte,
1-0.
1-0.
April
Pretty-
22nd.
There was pretty much a snoozer too, by the way.
I think I'm going to go... Yeah, I think I'm going to go 2-1 again. I was going to go 1-0, but I don't want Mort to be like, you do what everybody does.
2-1 Crew. 2-1 Crew.
Yeah. 2-1 Crew.
Okay.
So you have 2-1 again.
Mhm.
Okay.
Double down,
Okay.
triple down,
2-1
quadruple down.
2-1 for 2-1 for Ben.
Six,
Man, I
seven.
kind of lost track. Will you run through that again, Mort?
Well, Ben have predicted 7 2-1 scores this year. Okay.
Jeez.
Okay.
Okay.
It's working for you.
Yeah.
Haas said 2-2. Trey said 1-0 Columbus. Ben said 2-1 original. I said 0-0 snooze fest, and Mars, you said 2-1 because Ben had to copy somebody.
Yes.
too.
Wait, did I copy?
Yes,
Who
that's
did I
right.
copy?
Me.
You said 2-1.
You just-
Mars.
You hitched your.
Oh
hitched
man, I
your
have
wagon
goldfish
to
brain.
my-
I was like, I'm going to be original. Hashtag stay gold.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Small
Okay.
attention
All
span.
right, guys.
Uh,
So, boy, do we have 2 games next week, or do we finally get like a break? What is it?
we have a full
Oh, it's
week.
Chicago. I'm
Yep,
going to that
Chicago.
game. I think I'm going. I
I
hope
wanted
I'm
to
going.
go to that game, but I'm going to Florida.
I'm going to
Okay.
be in Canada.
Florida.
Oh, everybody's going to be somewhere.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna
Everybody's
enjoy.
gotta be
We'll
somewhere.
enjoy. All right.
Myrtle Beach.
Man, I'm glad we're not doing 2 games a week. It's been what, 3 or 4 weeks in a row we've had 2 games.
Everything.
A
Our
week.
next
so
3
much.
games, we get 7 days between each one. 10th, 17th,
need
and
'em.
24th.
Okay.
We don't get one before 4th of July game. On
Well, and then the whatchamacallit starts. The tournament starts.
In
We'll play St.
August.
Louis and Club
Is that in
America.
Or
June?
late July.
late
well,
July.
second
God,
half.
good.
Second
But that'll
half
be
of July.
post July. So July 5th is the day. That's when we can start signing people and getting this right in this ship. So
Yep.
I'm going to get July 5th tattooed.
Otamendi.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. I think we have done this. This has occurred.
we have done this.
Let's hope for the best, man. Let's get some results. I saw the 3 consecutive losses coming into this, and I was like, man, what is going on? But then I remembered one of them was the Pittsburgh game. We did beat who
Galaxy.
was it?
Yeah,
Yeah, Galaxy. We beat Galaxy
Wooden spoon.
2-0. We tied Orlando before that. It's not all bad. It's not all bad. We're gonna do great.
No, we played 2 of the best teams in the league.
Yeah, I said that to Trade. He's like, don't care. I hate that.
Don't forget that.
Yeah.
Don't forget.
We're gonna do great. We're gonna do
Yep.
great. Let's
Shut it.
touch base here in a week when we're at the top of the table. We'll be at the top in 7 days. So we'll talk to you all then.
Sneaky left
Until
back.
then,
Who's gonna be? It could be anybody.
Go Crew.
Go!
I know I am. I swear I am. Till I die.
Thanks everyone for joining the club. We hope you'll listen next week and every week, even in the off season, to celebrate or commiserate. We'll save you a seat. If you like this podcast, please give us 5 stars and subscribe. You can email us at upper90clubpod@gmail.com. That's upper90clubpod@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at upper90clubpod. Go Crew!
The shoes. The wooden shoes.
Wooden shoe. That's all that's in Nor. That's all they can do. Did I write this?
They have the shoes. They have the what else do they do?